Hello, everybody. Beautiful people. I'm Fitz, Stom Scribe and Soul Scribe. And I'm going to ask you to bear with me today as I do this little craft. You see here, I have this very nice looking plant. I bought it around 6 months ago. I had it up on top of the bookshelf to show you all. Right there near the violins. And over the last 6 months, the plant has grown and grown and grown. And it's really nice and leafy. At this point, you can even see some of the buds over there in between the leaves, some buds. Those are going to be new leaves that are going to sprout forth. And because the container is really small and the plant has grown so significantly, what I've done is I bought a new pot, significantly bigger, and I'm going to transfer this small plant, the plant that's been in the smaller pot until now, into this larger pot. I just came back from the store, got my soil, and we can do it together with you right here, right now. Open this bag of soil. Put that in here. Now, attempt to take this plant out of here. Wow, just like that. Check this out. Check this out. You see all that white? All that white. All that white. Oh, those are the roots. The roots have grown and grown and grown, and they're pressing up against the edge of this small pot, right? Pressing up against the edge of it, nowhere to expand to, nowhere to grow to. Here they are. And we're finally going to transplant them into this new pot. They will have so much more new space to grow into. Wow, this is exciting. I'm going to add more dirt into this. And there's something else I should tell you about this. You know, as this plant has been growing, you may even be able to see, no, I can't see here. Every a couple of weeks or months, as the plant has grown, some of its outermost leaves have died off. Right? So there is one over here that you can see. You see this one right here. It's starting to turn a little bit of a lighter color than the rest. It's kind of drooping down a little lower than the rest. It's on its way out. It's on its way out. And that's been happening consistently for the last 6 months. For the last 6 months, consistently, every 2-3 weeks or so, as the plant would get a growth spurt, it would grow. Some of the leaves, especially on the most outer ones, or would start to die. So I would rip them off. The plant would keep growing. The reason for that is because as the plant continued to grow deeper roots and grow taller, and further out. So, what was originally on the outside of the stem was basically growing taller and further out of the earth, and it was losing its connection with the source. Here we go. This plant is officially transplanted. I'm so excited about this. This is awesome. Delicious new soil. I'm gonna water it. Here we go. And I'm going to place it straight up there. Plant. Right up there. Beautiful. Now, why do I share this with you today? Here's why. Oftentimes, when we begin to develop a skill or follow our passions or evolve, we need a pot. We need support. We need people who are going to support us, who are going to champion for us, who are going to buy our work or our product or promote it and tell people about it. Sometimes those are friends, close friends, sometimes it's family, sometimes those are people in the marketplace, whatever it is. So we have a little pot, and our seed is taking root bit by bit in this small little pot. And this pot represents structures in society that are supporting us, okay? After some time, we grow. Our roots begin to grow deeper and spread further out. Our leaves begin to grow further out. We grow taller. We expand. We expand to the point that we are actually capable of self-sufficiency, or actually capable of removing ourselves from what is now the constriction of the small container. See, that container in the beginning of our journey was support. In the beginning of our journey, we couldn't have grown into the plant that we are without it. But then at some point, that original pot, that original supportive cushion, those are structures that scaffolded us, as we grew, become a limitation. Because guess what? The pot doesn't grow with us. And so then there comes a time where we need to dislodge and transplant ourselves from the small pot, which has now become a constriction, into a bigger container. And sometimes people feel guilty about this. People feel guilty and shameful. Well, how can I abandon the small pot? The small pot gave me my life. The small pot is what got me off my feet. And the first answer to that is, well, would you like to grow or not? Sometimes growing takes a risk, takes a radical risk. It takes a choice. Choice to take the action that would serve our growth without preoccupation and without being more concerned about the well-being of the container than we are about the growth that is intended for us and that we're destined for. Another thing is, and this is sometimes helpful to reflect on, it is true that the container, the vessel, the external structures, the supporting systems help us become who we are. It is also true that we helped it. This would be empty and kind of useless without it having been filled with soil and with a seed and with a plant growing in it. It would just be sitting on a shelf, not really serving any purpose. And so in a similar way, let's say you've begun to do some work and there have been people who supported you, got you off the ground in the beginning. You helped them too. You help them with your product. You help them with your services. Sometimes artists, for example, and this relates to scribes, Soifrim, who I have a special place in my heart for and I'm particularly passionate about. Sometimes we are supported by retailers, In the beginning of our craft, in the beginning of our work, we don't necessarily have so many contacts. We're not necessarily so well known, and we don't have so much business. But retailers are eager to buy our work because our work is priced quite cheaply, competitively in the beginning when we're starting out our career. And there's an opportunity for the retailers to buy our work, mark it up a bit, make a profit, and satisfy their customers. It is worthwhile to remember that at some point, those agreements become like this pot. They become a constraint, and they're no longer supportive. And to grow might take a risk. It might take a willingness to leave what was supportive in the past behind and to grow into new horizons. And it's also good to remember that you have helped the retailers as well. You've helped the retailer by providing them with your work. You have been a source of business for them because they've been able to make a profit from your work. It's been a two-way street. Sometimes people are not aware or not connected with the way in which they have contributed to the pot, to the structure, to the supportive structure. It's a two-way street. The supportive structure helped you, and you helped it by allowing it to help you, and it was mutually beneficial. And there comes a time to outgrow that. And that's just the nature of the cycle of nature, just like the plant. If you would love to create your next expansion, you'd love to dislodge yourself from the small pot that you've been planted in for a long time and transplant yourself into a bigger container, you would love more love in your work, more money out of your work, more well-being all around that supports your work, and that your work is actually supportive of all the other structures going on for you in your life, in your family life, in your spirituality, in your wealth creation, and your well-being. That's what the Cypher's Prosperity and Well-Being School is all about. If you'd like to have a conversation, be in touch. I'd love to talk. It's going to be 6 scribes, 6 months, an incredible journey of creating more love in your work, more money out of your work, and greater prosperity and well-being in and out of your suffers. I love you. Thank you for receiving me, and I look forward to being in conversation with you.